faithfully delivering value and exploring great books worldwide. Hello, this is Sally Book Talk. Today I'm interpreting the book Blue Flame. It's the autobiography of Yuzuru Hanyu, a Japanese figure skater who won 2 Olympic gold medals in men's singles. I'm sure many folks are familiar with this name. In your mind, what kind of athlete is Yuzuru Hanyu? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section. Perhaps the phrase face like jade, posture like a pine, graceful as a startled swan, flowing like a dragon, pops into your head. This is people's admiration for Yuzuru Hanyu's ice dancing. Yuzuru Hanyu was born in 1994. He's broken world records 19 times and is the first Grand Slam champ in figure skating history. Starting on ice at age 4, he brought classic programs like Parisian Walkways, Chopin's Ballade No. 1, Prime and Seme, constantly pushing the limits of figure skating. At the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics, Yuzuru Hanyu attempted the epic difficulty quadruple axel jump, but failed, missing out on a medal. Yet, he was honored in defeat, even getting more applause than the champ. So, how did this figure skating genius grow into an Olympic champion? Today, we'll take you through Yuzuru Hanyu's championship journey with Blue Flame. Blue Flame has 2 volumes, packed with interviews and photos from Yuzuru Hanyu himself. In the first book, he shares his journey from starting skating at 4 to making his mark internationally at 17. The second volume, Flying, covers from 2012 to 2016 World Championships. In the book, Yuzuru Hanyu not only describes his training routines and mindset shifts over time, but also shares his views on figure skating and winning. Next, I'll break down the book into 2 parts, Emergence and World Champion. First, let's dive into part 1, Emergence. On December 7th, 1994, Yuzuru Hanyu was born into an ordinary family in Sendai City, Miyagi Prefecture, Japan. His dad named him Hanyu, hoping he'd be calm yet full of fighting spirit, like a bowstring on a bow. Yuzuru Hanyu had poor health as a kid. He got asthma at age 2. To build up his health, at age 4, he joined a skating class with his sis, and that's how he started his bond with ice. As a kid, Yuzuru Hanyu wasn't exactly a model student. He never paid attention in class, loved to act reckless, and got kicked out of the rink by the teacher every day. But from a young age, Yuzuru Hanyu showed a strong desire to compete and win. In his book, Yuzuru Hanyu says that since childhood, he especially loved competing in events with big crowds. He still remembers that his first competition program theme was Ultraman Gaia. His mom made him a red and blue Ultraman costume with a red energy light on the chest. Yuzuru Hanyu's second competition program was called Racing Horse. With this routine, the 6-year-old prodigy won his first gold medal at a domestic competition in Chiba. Standing on the podium, he raised the trophy high like his idol, Russian figure skater Evgeny Plushenko, so everyone could see. Plushenko is one of the greatest men's single skaters ever. He won 2 Olympic golds and an Olympic silver, and is a Grand Slam champ who's taken the Olympics, World Championships, European Championships, and Grand Prix finals, earning him the nickname Ice Prince. 5. Yuzuru Hanyu admired Plushenko because he kept winning. To copy his idol, little Yuzu also got the same mushroom haircut as Plushenko. But although he loved competing, he hated training because figure skating was super tough, needing practice in endurance, strength, balance, flexibility, and more. Every day after school, when friends went out to play, only Yuzuru Hanyu had to hit the rink for training. Weekend mornings meant early drills, and he nearly cried several times. And in 3rd grade, to prep for the All-Japan Junior Figure Skating Championships, his coach, Shozo Sato, gave him special private lessons. Coach Sato's brutal training made Yuzu want to bolt. He told his parents he wanted to play baseball, and they casually said, "Then quit skating. Baseball ain't pricey either." Unexpectedly, his parents' attitude sparked Yuzuru Hanyu to think. After all, he started skating because he loved it, and he'd pushed through all this way. What kind of thing would it be to give up now? With that mindset, Yuzuru Hanyu stuck with skating. In fourth grade, when he first entered the All Japan Junior Figure Skating Championships, he snagged the gold in the B group. After that, he lost his training rink twice, but that only made him more committed to the ice. The first time was shortly after winning the All Japan Junior Championships, when his training rink closed due to financial struggles. Yuzuru Hanyu had to train farther away with significantly reduced practice time. When the rink was still open, he thought he had unlimited training time anyway, so he often slacked off. Only when he could no longer practice freely did he realize he couldn't live without skating. After the rink reopened over 2 years later, Yuzuru trained relentlessly and mastered all triple jumps. In 2007, as a 7th grader, Yuzuru Hanyu competed as a special entry in the All Japan Junior Championships and placed third. Before him, only world champion Miki Ando had achieved such high placement in the junior championships at a young age. In March 2010, the 15-year-old Yuzuru Hanyu won the World Junior Championships. By then, he could execute 2 triple axels in one program, the highest difficulty move in junior competitions. That fall, as a high school freshman, Yuzuru began senior competitions and landed a quadruple jump at the NHK Trophy Grand Prix event. The following February, he won silver at the Four Continents Championships, his first senior international podium. With strong results in his first senior season, Yuzuru was eager for more. But just 3 weeks after his Four Continents silver, the Great East Japan earthquake took his rink again. On March 11th, 2011, the quake struck with its epicenter in the Pacific Ocean east of Miyagi Prefecture, just 130 kilometers from Yuzuru's hometown, Sendai. The tsunami triggered by the earthquake caused the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster. During the quake, Yuzuru was practicing at a nearby rink when the ice suddenly shook violently, making the ground feel like it was lifting. All the doors slammed open at once. The rink's walls cracked with a loud crash. Terrified and unable to move his legs, Yuzuru scrambled out on all fours with help from senior skaters. His dad couldn't return from work. His sister took Yuzuru and their mom to a shelter, where they slept huddled together under one blanket.
With Sendai's rink destroyed, Yuzuru's training halted again. After just 10 days off, his leg muscles atrophied, his legs only 3/4 their former size, making quadruple jumps impossible.
To maintain training, Yuzuru Hanyu started traveling to different rinks and substituted performances for practice. In 5 months after the quake, Yuzuru performed in 60 ice shows, arriving early for practice whenever possible and seeking jump tips from fellow skaters. The secrets to landing quadruple jumps. Though exhausting, touring honed Yuzuru's expressiveness, helping him connect deeper with the emotions in his programs. Or, in April 2011, at a charity show in Kobe, Yuzuru performed to Swan Lake, which opens with a somber melody. Yuzuru imagined awakening post-earthquake, completely disoriented. Waking in darkness, his heart anxiously questioned what had happened. As the melody intensified, his confusion grew stronger.
What should I do now?
What's best for me to do right now? Finally, he realized he wanted to skate, and must skate better from now on. The quake transformed 17-year-old Yuzuru's values. He understood nothing's guaranteed, his survival, family's safety, even having a rink. He cherished every skating moment and approached each competition more seriously. Yuzuru said, "If my skating inspires someone, gives even a spark of strength to move forward, if they feel something, then my performance has meaning." In the 2011-2012 season, Yuzuru reached the Grand Prix final, 4th place, and earned his first All Japan Championships podium, bronze. At March 2012 Worlds, his debut, despite an ankle sprain so severe he couldn't fit his boot, he took painkillers and won bronze. CCTV commentator Chen Ying praised his opening quad toe loop. "You barely notice he's done a quad. It's as effortless as a triple. While people marveled at his talent, Coach Nanami Abe believed Yuzuru's true genius was his work ethic. He doubled others' efforts to maximize his potential. Most skaters practice quads 20 to 30 times a day, but Yuzuru Hanyu does 60. If he fails a jump, he punishes himself by sprinting 3 laps around the rink.
Also, to boost his cardio and stamina, Yuzuru trains with a mask on, which is super tough.
Especially during spins, figure skating fans might know Yuzuru is one of the few male skaters who can do the Bialman spin. And when performing the Bioman spin, the free leg is lifted behind the head, forming a teardrop shape, demanding extreme flexibility, so usually only female skaters can pull it off. Due to bone structure differences, male skaters rarely achieve it like Yuzuru's idol. Evgeny Plushenko once made the Bielman spin his signature move, but after a groin injury in 2005, he mostly ditched it. For Yuzuru, balancing explosive power for jumps with flexibility for spins is super challenging. When starting quad practice, his muscles stiffened, making the Bielman spin impossible. Plus, during spins, he had to hold his breath, and with the mask on, he couldn't breathe after spinning. So Yuzuru set a rule: no mask removal until touching the rink boards, making him dash there every time. Yuzuru Hanyu says, effort can lie, but it never goes to waste. With that, we've wrapped up part 1. After the Great East Japan earthquake, Yuzuru Hanyu began making his mark in senior world competitions. As he got older and competed more, Yuzuru's view of figure skating deepened.
To him, figure skating isn't just a sport with tough jumps and spins. It also stirs emotions in audiences after performances.
And that's, one of the most incredible things about figure skating. He gradually realized what kind of figure skating he was pursuing. Before, he just copied other seniors, but now he wants his own style, to bring something uniquely Yuzuru Hanyu, to compete and perform with all-out intensity. In May 2012, after winning World's Bronze while recovering from injury, Yuzuru made a huge decision to leave hometown Sendai for Toronto, Canada, to train with gold medal coach Brian Orser and launch his all-out quest for world champion and Grand Slam. Now, let's dive into part 2. Brian Orser is the head coach of the Toronto Cricket Skating and Curling Club. As an athlete, he won 2 Olympic silver medals in men's single skating. In 1988, Brian became a coach. His students include Yuna Kim, the Olympic champion from Korea, and Javier Fernandez, a 2-time world champion from Spain. Fernandez has a very high success rate with quadruple jumps, which was a key reason why Yuzuru Hanyu chose Brian. During training, Yuzuru Hanyu does visualization exercises. For example, when doing jumps, a 3D image of the jump moment pops into his mind, so he knows where it's off and makes small tweaks. On the way to competition venues, he also watches videos and does visualization drills, imprinting his well-executed jumps in his brain. Before going to Canada, Yuzuru Hanyu's techniques were developed through trial and error with coach Nanami Abe. But Coach Brian's advice, like how to use the right foot during takeoff or the speed before ending a toe loop jump, was totally different from previous perspectives. Plus, Yuzuru, being new, wasn't great at English. Sometimes after Coach Brian explained, Yuzuru couldn't form a clear mental image, so he initially relied on muscle memory, memorizing the guidance with his body first, then jotting down the key points in Japanese. He also memorizes muscle diagrams and thinks about which muscles are firing up while performing actions. Oh, by the way, Yuzuru Hanyu has loved flipping through muscle atlases since he was a kid. In 2013, he also passed the standard entrance exam to enroll at Waseda University for a correspondence course in human information science. He chose this major because he's into ergonomics, to scientifically analyze jumps and skating and more precisely control tough moves. He also observes how his training partner Fernandez jumps and refines it repeatedly, as Yuzuru Hanyu himself describes. The mental images he used to get with Coach Nanami were based on feeling. At first, it was like low resolution, but now it's clear and detailed, like seeing in 3D. More importantly, Brian and his coaching team made detailed tweaks to aspects like Yuzuru's push-offs and crossovers while skating, greatly boosting his skating skills and laying a solid foundation for his future championship journey. Mm. I, I, in December 2012, 18-year-old Yuzuru Hanyu defeated Daisuke Takahashi to claim his first All Japan Championships title. In December 2013, he won the Grand Prix Final Championship for the first time. During the 2012 to 2014 seasons, his short program music was consistently Parisienne Walkways. This blues-style single by British guitar maestro Gary Moore made the UK Top 10 in 1979, embodying the free-spirited vibe of its title. The choreographer for this short program was Jeffrey Buttle, marking their first collaboration. When Jeffrey proposed using Parisienne Walkways for 18-year-old Yuzuru, what was everyone's initial reaction? You want him to skate to this music? Even Yuzuru initially thought the music was quintessential Jeffrey. Though Jeffrey performed it best himself, he discovered Yuzuru's untamed spirit and maximized that flair in the choreography. Wow. With this fluid short program, Yuzuru repeatedly broke world records and won men's singles gold at the 2014 Sochi Olympics. And Parisienne Walkways became synonymous with Yuzuru Hanyu for Japanese audiences. At Sochi, Yuzuru's strongest rival was Canadian skater Patrick Chan. 4 years older than Yuzuru, Patrick is a 3-time world champion and 2-time Grand Prix final winner. He won Sochi's men's singles silver and Pyeongchang's team gold. He's hailed as figure skating's top technician. His program component scores often led competitions. Since his youth, Yuzuru deeply admired Patrick and saw him as the benchmark to surpass. At the pre-Sochi Grand Prix Canada event, Yuzuru made mistakes in both short and free programs due to over-focusing on his rival, trailing Patrick by 27.23 points. This setback became a turning point. From then on, whether skating or not, he consciously focused inward and undertook targeted training. For example, optimizing breathing techniques during program segments to conserve energy and maintain focus in the free skate's second half. In February 2014, Yuzuru Hanyu arrived in Sochi, officially kicking off his first Olympic journey. At age 11, in an interview, Yuzuru Hanyu said, "My goal is to win Olympic gold." But what exactly does the Olympics mean? Perhaps only by being there can you truly understand. In Sochi, during his first public training, Yuzuru thought, "This is the Olympics." Feeling so nervous, his body stiffened up. But as he kept skating, he started feeling it was just an ordinary competition. Keeping a calm mindset while training with all his might helped Yuzuru Hanyu win a strong start at the Sochi Olympics. He performed excellently in the figure skating team event, placing first in the short program, then scoring 101.45 points in the men's singles short program. This was the first short program in men's singles international competition history to score over 100 points. But with the added team event, the short and free programs were on back-to-back days with late schedules, so skaters had to compete exhausted. As a result,
skating fourth from last, Yuzuru had 2 jump errors right at the start, making him a bit panicked.
his energy drained fast in the free skate's second half. His legs got heavier, and his speed wasn't ideal. Yuzuru felt the gold slipping away, negative emotions building, but he skated on with all his might. In the end, he scored a total of 280.9 points. It was about 10 points lower than his Grand Prix final score, but the next skater, Patrick Chan, also made jump errors. Yuzuru won Sochi gold, becoming Asia's first Olympic men's singles figure skating champion. In the interview zone, hearing the final ranking, Yuzuru looked astonished. He said, "I regret skating the free skate like that. Although I got the gold, on this big stage, I didn't perform to my full ability. It was too much pressure." At that moment, more than winning Olympic gold, Yuzuru cared more about regretting his imperfect free skate. But for Yuzuru Hanyu, regret and negative emotions were never obstacles on his path forward. Even if he loses a competition, he doesn't get too down. Instead, he turns regret into motivation and throws himself fully into the next training. At the World Championships held in April, his flawless free skate earned him his first world title. At just 19 and a half, Yuzuru Hanyu achieved the Grand Slam, Olympic, World Championships, Grand Prix Final, and All Japan Championships titles. In the 2015-2016 season, Yuzuru Hanyu delivered another stunning free skate performance that amazed the world. The music came from the soundtrack of the Japanese film Omioji, and Yuzuru named the program Seimei. Seimei is both the film's onmyoji protagonist and a homophone for life in Japanese. Legend says Seimei was born in the Heian period, son of a white fox, with the power to commune with spirits. This music has a strong Japanese style, and Yuzuru aimed to showcase his personal flair, the resilience of the Yamato people, and Japanese aesthetic lines. He and Canadian choreographers Shailin Bourne and David Wilson watched traditional Japanese theater like Kyogen and No, and researched together. The costume was inspired by the Japanese traditional garment, karaginu, casual wear for nobles in the Heian period. It featured gold thread on the chest and added the onmyoji symbol. The pentagram performance drew from Seimei's spirit summoning dance in the film. In Yuzuru Hanyu's view, Japanese kyogen and no performances share similarities with figure skating. For example, both involve jumping and require performers to hold poses while moving fluidly, like flowing clouds. He also expressed Japanese characteristics through hand movements and body lines. For instance, the opening hand gesture symbolizes holding heaven, earth, and humanity within one palm. The Seimei free skate helped Yuzuru Hanyu repeatedly break world records and become the first man to win 3 consecutive Grand Prix finals titles. At the 2018 Pyeongchang Olympics, Yuzuru defended his title with this free skate, becoming the first man in 66 years to win back-to-back Olympic golds in single skating. Seimei is considered Yuzuru Hanyu's masterpiece. It was during the Pyeongchang broadcast that CCTV commentator Chen Ying described Yuzuru as face like jade, posture like a pine, graceful as a startled swan, flowing like a dragon. In fact, before the Pyeongchang Olympics, Yuzuru Hanyu was out for over 3 months with a right ankle injury. Plus, he faced challenges from both new and old rivals, but conquered the ice with top-tier skills and artistry. As commentator, Chen Ying famously said, "Fate whispers to the warrior, you cannot withstand the storm." The warrior whispers back, "I am the storm," by Yuzuru Hanyu, a self-motivated athlete who pushes himself without prodding. His achievements deserve the standing ovations he receives. Looking like a Japanese anime protagonist, he's turned his life into an inspiring sports saga. For Yuzuru Hanyu, figure skating is Issho Kenmei pursuit. It means committing your whole life to one thing, rising after every fall, taking painkillers when injured, competing bandaged. In November 2014, during warm-ups at Cup of China, Yuzuru collided with Chinese skater Han Yan. Yuzuru lay on the ice, clutching his abdomen, unable to breathe, head bleeding. Doctors and coaches urged withdrawal, saying, "Don't play hero now, you have your whole career." But Yuzuru only thought about qualifying. For the Grand Prix final, plus consecutive wins at Worlds, All Japan Championships, and Grand Prix final. Bandaged head and chin, he insisted on competing. Despite 5 falls in his free skate, he placed second at Cup of China, qualifying for Grand Prix final, later receiving 10 stitches for head or jaw injuries. Since his program was Phantom of the Opera, this became known as the Bloody Phantom competition. By late 2014, Yuzuru achieved back-to-back Grand Prix finals wins and 3 consecutive All Japan Championships titles. Few knew he suffered from urachal remnant disease, with pus oozing from his swollen navel. The urachus is a fetal tube connecting bladder to navel, normally closing before birth.
Incomplete closure causes urachal remnant. Doctors urged immediate surgery.
But to compete, Yuzuru bandaged the wound despite continuous bleeding, enduring agony when bending or arching.
He only had surgery after the All Japan Championships.
Looking back at these tough months since the Cup of China, Yuzuru Hanyu said, "People are greedy. After overcoming one hurdle, you immediately aim for the next. My greed is probably twice as strong as most people's. And
Because I truly love skating, love jumping, that's why I skate and compete. This passion is what matters most."
on November 28, 2015, Yuzuru Hanyu won the Grand Prix Nagano event flawlessly with 322.4 points, smashing world records for men's short program, free skate, and total score, the first time figure skating broke the 300-point barrier. He broke his own record again soon after at the Grand Prix final. This book concludes in 2016. After that, in April 2017, he won the World Championships again. In February 2020, 25-year-old Yuzuru Hanyu won his first Four Continents gold, becoming the first skater ever to achieve the Super Slam across 6 major international competitions. And these 6 events are Olympics, World Championships, Grand Prix Final, Four Continents, World Junior Championships, and Junior Grand Prix Final. At the February 2022 Beijing Olympics, Yuzuru Hanyu challenged the epic difficulty quadruple axel jump, 4A. The 4A is uniquely hard because it's launched forward, but all jumps must land backward for safety. So the 4A actually requires 4.5 rotations, 1,620 degrees midair. The rotational speed equals car wheels at 50 kilometers per hour, and landings absorb 5 to 8 times body weight, like a car crash. This isn't just pushing human limits. It's extremely dangerous.
Had he skipped the 4A, he might have won his 3rd Olympic gold.
But Yuzuru chose the challenge. Describing practice, he said,
Each time my body slammed onto the ice felt like a death jump.
I trained prepared to die from concussion any time, though Yuzuru failed the attempt, placing 4th. Post-competition, he said, "This was my closest 4A yet. I'm still not satisfied. Give me more time. Let me keep chasing this impossible dream." All right, that wraps up our look at Blue Flame. Do you feel like you've got a fresh perspective on Yuzuru now? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section. Reading notes are below the audio. Catch you next time.